Thank you, guys. And thank you for choosing the right track, track 2. Way to go. That's right. I'm Dustin Horning. I run the professional services for the Americas for Telium.
And I'm Heriberto Salcedo, Product Marketing Manager at Meta, supporting our conversions data products.
So for today, what we really want to focus on is where to invest the right things to get the most ROI out of the advertising that you're doing. And so I want to make sure that you guys remember 3 numbers. Can you remember 3 numbers? I think you all can. Smart people, I know it's early, but we're going to get going. The first number is 15. Can you guys say 15? Okay. Second number is 8.5. Say 8.5. Great. And the third one is 9.5. Can I hear 9.5? Great. Amazing. 15, 8.5, 9.5. You guys got it. So my daughter is doing this cool art project for her school where she has to talk about Amelia Earhart. And it's a really big part of her grade. And she has to make a poster. She has to dress up like her and go to class and give all these facts. And she, the other day, was spending hours on it. And she was drawing on it, and she was getting her costume perfect, and everything looked really good. And I looked at it, and I said, there's nothing about Amelia Earhart on your poster. You don't say when she was born or her great accomplishments or talk about her life at all. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll do that later. I'm really just focused on coloring airplanes and drawing all these things. And the reality and what I had to teach her then is that no matter how much more time she puts into making her poster board look good, it's not going to improve her grade until she actually fills that in with the facts and the data and the knowledge that she's supposed to learn. And for us in marketing, we can often make that same mistake. There's so much emphasis on getting things pixel perfect. Is this the right font? Is this the right word? Is that the right image? And those things are important, and they will change conversion rates. We know that. But oftentimes what gets overlooked is actually the data and the quality of data that feeds into that to make sure that we are understanding if those ads are actually working. And not just to get better attribution, but once you get your data flowing back into your vendors like Meta, then it also unlocks better targeting and new capabilities. So that's a lot of what we're going to focus on today. So Heriberto, can you tell us more about how Meta thinks about quality data and its importance?
Yes. I'm going to take a quick step back to give you sort of a little peek under the hood of how we're helping businesses grow. As Dustin alluded to, it's not an always perfect scenario where you have all the data available to you for better measurement, better attribution, better targeting. But when you think about it from a marketing standpoint, marketing teams spend a lot of time on creative, the channels, the audience, which are all good things to do, but very little time from a share of share of time on data investment and how that unlocks ROI. It's not just measurement, it's targeting, it's optimization, and then it's measurement. So I want to walk you through how we're approaching that at Meta. So the way we think about it is every connection is an opportunity. It's a signal, it's a touch point. It's not a linear journey. At Meta, we believe every connection is an opportunity. Connections drive business growth, and it brings us closer together when you think about us. And we're in the business of growing business. When it comes to businesses like yours, businesses that all the millions of businesses that we support, because connections mean more, that means more reach, more conversions, better targeting, which means more sales. In fact, you could say that we've been in the business of growing business for over 18 years. We actually recently just partners with a set of economists at UC Berkeley on the impact that our services are having on our businesses. And what we've seen is that every dollar spent on ads with us drives $3.31% ROI in revenue among all our advertising community in the US alone. But what does it mean, and how do we continue to make businesses grow? And we've always been looking for ways that we can further grow businesses or grow a marketer's ability to grow businesses. And what I want to share with you is what we're calling the Data Accelerator event. And this is about 3 things. Utilizing a resilient connection, so leveraging the right tools and infrastructures effectively for your data. quality input, as Dustin mentioned, improving the quality of the data you use to increase accuracy and performance, and iterative measurement. Always on measurement, always, I call it always be experimenting, whether there's market and mix modeling, lift, MTA, collaboration of all three, so that you can see how performance is actually taking shape. So I'm sure that we can all agree that quality input, the tools and connections you use and measurements are important. When a business focuses on one of these, this is sort of the trifecta. Strategic investment in data quality and setup can multiply results twofold. For example, when you increase your focus of building a resilient solution like Conversions API through resilient connections with better tooling, it has a compound effect on performance when you can better target, right? Quality input, it's not just the data, but the quality of the data. How is that data being used for matching accuracy? How is that data being used for optimization? And really spending time on the data that not only is being sent, but the quality. And we'll show you how that looks for some of our solutions only with Meta and with Telium. And finally, when all three are switched on, you can see the effect of accelerated performance through iterative measurement, whether you're using MMM, lift, or MTA type of measurement methodologies to accelerate performance. So before I toss it over to Dustin a little bit to talk more about sort of how Telium is bringing this to life, this is really about bringing all of those signal touch points into one solution that we call Conversions API, where all your customer interactions across all your channels, across all your marketing data can feed in to fuel our optimization engines that can essentially better grow your business. And Dustin, we'd love to learn more on how you're applying sort of our solution into the world of Telium.
Yeah, no, you really are aligning so much with our vision of how first-party data can be an asset to the company. And there's so much happening in the blue box on this slide, right? That Telium box right there is doing all of the things we've been talking about this week. It's collecting the events from the different sources. It's standardizing them. It's applying them in a mapping layer from what your business calls the data to what Meta is expecting that data to be called in their system. It's making sure the right things are hashed that need to be hashed. It's retrying if things fail to make sure that all of that data is quickly and in a high quality way getting to Meta so that they can use that and continue to work with you on your ad performance with that data. And Heriberto, close your ears for a second. We actually can send it to more than just Meta too, right? And so all of your advertising partners, or even your in-house data source, where you can do your own attribution models, once you're standardizing and unifying that data through a consistent orchestration layer, that all becomes available and it just becomes another output. And so you can think of Telium in these kind of bi-directional ways. On the front end, it's a big funnel for collecting data from everywhere where you're having these touch points with your customer, including where it's non-digital, store purchases, contact center, your direct sales. And then on the outside, it's a prism. We can then deflect that same data out to these multiple different destinations where it's going to be valuable.
And I think one thing that I want to add to this slide specifically is that we understand that we have a lot of products and solutions in the market, and they can seem very sort of complex, and it's like, I don't have time, there's a lot of stuff to do. And this is where partners like Dustin and team make it really, really easy for businesses to access all of these solutions to better performance by investing in your first-party data to accelerate campaign performance and marketing performance.
Yeah. And for today, one thing we really want to focus on, one of the lowest hanging fruits that we see across our customer base is that people are not taking full advantage of the non-digital conversion events that are going to be relevant to your ads. A lot of you have already adopted this for web, and that's great. Many of you have adopted it for your mobile platforms. Not as many of you have adopted it for offline. But as Heriberto is about to talk about, that's not how your customers see it. And your customer can be influenced by an ad that they see to do any sort of purchase or conversion event that could be in any of the channels where you are engaging with your customers today. So can you talk to us a little bit about what gets unlocked? How does Meta think about omni-channel experience?
Yeah, I think for us and how we're supporting, the shopping experience, for us It's not really online versus offline. From a consumer centricity perspective, it's just shopping. And I think we can all agree to that as we go out there and buy any goods or service out there. In today's modern world, it's not a linear touch point. Shoppers don't see channels. When you look at some of the stats here, 62% of consumers say they'll stop engaging with brands that offer inconsistent experiences. 3 and 4 consumers expect real-time visibility into both online and in-store inventory, and almost 70% of customers say consistent omni-channel experiences are critical to maintain their loyalty. So businesses must ensure alignment across all touch points wherever the journey starts, and it must finish smoothly without friction. And that's the insight that has helped us create the product that we have in market today that I want to go over. So as we think about the next era of performance marketing at Meta, here's a toolkit of things you should consider that most advanced retailers that we're seeing on our side that we're partnered with are doing to unlocking omni-channel growth. The foundation of this journey is beginning to share your offline data, your POS data in a privacy safe way, which of course we do. There are many ways to do this. And what we say is utilize the Conversions API for offline events through Telium, which makes it very easy. Start thinking differently about how you're shifting your strategy, not only from an online experience, but an omni-channel experience through platforms like Meta, in which I'll walk you through how that looks like from an ad experience perspective. And come on an innovation journey with us and explore with different ways to optimize the omni-channel experience simultaneously to drive growth, not only online, but in-store traffic. So this is the 15% that Dustin mentioned, and we're seeing this a lot through our retail partners internally. You can essentially drive more sales and greater efficiency using omni-channel optimization. We've recently done an analysis split test of omni-channel campaigns versus online that showed omni-channel optimization. And we saw an average advertisers and marketers saw a 15% lower cost per omni purchase on average compared to just a website-only optimization. So when you're optimizing for the omni-channel experience, you save more money. That's what this says.
Right, and this is going back to that very first point. Just an emphasis on your data quality and the breadth of the data that you're sending in can have a profound impact. 15% lower cost of purchase on average is huge.
So bear with me while I nerd out just for the next few slides on how that looks from a technical standpoint in terms of the products. The first is establish a data connection, and I've sort of mentioned this in previous slides, is the Conversions API is that first step of unlocking omni-channel ads. The Conversion API essentially lets advertisers like yourself integrate data from a variety of channels and sources to improve campaign performance. Basically, you're basically utilizing your data and investing in your first-party data, all of those customer journey signals, and you're feeding it into our optimization system so that your ads are getting in front of the people that are more likely to meet a certain profile or certain stage event in your CRM, a certain profile that's sort of purchasing in your stores. This is what this tool allows you to do. It powers optimization, it powers targeting, and it helps better measurement. And I want to share some best practices when we think about, okay, great, I'm going to do the Conversions API, and then what's next? How should I do it? And I think there's 3 things that I sort of want to call out. One, focusing on the right parameters. Where possible, send both email and phone numbers as they're strong matching keys. This is specifically for matching purposes. The more signal we get, the more parameters we get, the higher accuracy in terms of matching, and you can ensure that your data is matched to a proper user, which feeds into our optimization system. Uploading data in a timely manner. The fresher the data, the better the data. Then that goes to the data quality conversation that we had earlier, and you'll see how that comes to life and how we're giving advertisers and businesses like yourself the ability to see how that quality score is moving. And then, I go back to the iterative measurement. Analyze your online and offline impact. Start tracking your offline events for existing and new campaigns at the ad level and see how our ads are driving in-store and online sales. The other, strengthening data quality. And I want to spend some time here, and that's really important because you want to make sure that you're sending the right data, not just data. And I think what we've seen a lot of times is that businesses start to just send first-party data and start to unlock optimization and targeting capabilities, but they may not see the performance that they are expecting right away. And that's where the quality component, it's sort of not like a set it and forget it approach. You sort of really have to invest time and effort to make sure that your quality is up to par so that you can see the maximum impact of all of the efforts that you're doing. Sharing quality store data drives stronger omni-channel outcomes. Simple as that. You can fuel our optimization engines with precise and comprehensive storage data across different levels in a timely fashion, and you'll see better quality scores. And I want to get to that slide shortly, what that looks like. And this is it. This is sort of that 8.5 that Dustin was talking.
Second number.
Offline data score, quality score ensures optimal signals. So what we're doing, not only we're allowing you to sort of giving you the opportunity to share and invest in your first party data, but we're also providing you the metrics and the scores so you can see how that data is improving our system and what levers need to be taken to improve quality. You can fuel optimization and fresh information if you score a 8.5, what we call our offline data quality score, to ensure that the data is up to date to optimize campaigns. You can accurately reach online and store shoppers. So essentially, we've enabled on our events manager source, but also on Telium, the ability to see how the quality of your data is stacked and how you can improve it. And we provide insights on what are the steps that you need to do. And here are some best practices. Again, feel free. I think we have this publicly available, and Dustin will go about this as well. These are some of the best practices to ensure you have the best data quality in terms of frequency, freshness, attribution, and purchase value. Dustin, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this slide, more than maybe any other in the deck, really encapsulates why Meta and Telium are such strong partners and why we value this partnership so much. You know, Telium is really all about empowering you with the right tools so that you can get the most out of your first-party customer data, which is what Telium believes is one of your most valuable assets. And one of the quickest and best ways to get value from that data is to share it with your ad partners in a way that's going to be real time. That's those first two, you know, frequency, freshness. It's going to be quality, attribution, and accuracy. And it's going to be enriched with the right data and filled in with all those pieces. And that's on that purchase value, the enhanced with the store data. And so these are all the things that Telium's been saying all week and probably every conversation you've had with us. And here's Meta saying this is important to us and here's why. And that's why it's such a great story together.
Right. And the reason why sort of the offline data sending component on top of the quality component is important is because what it allows you to do is you unlock essentially omni-channel ads. And this is sort of the ad format that all marketers that are driving the omni-channel experience should be using, because this is what it's for.
This is so cool. I love this slide. Like the stuff you're doing with ads to be able to know, like people are using your apps on their phones so you know their location, and so they can fill in the ads with your brick and mortar locations. If you're retail, if you're automotive, the closest store location that's relevant to you with the purchase. And so it's not just sending a digital, hoping for a digital transaction. You can now be influencing this real world behavior based on what Meta knows and what you've given them.
Right, and if you go back to my earlier slide of where marketers are spending their time in terms of the creative and the messaging, now they can overlay this component. This is sort of that innovation component that is, you know, sharing first-party data and sharing first-party quality data unlocks, is now you can enhance the creative, enhance the messaging, and enhance the targeting optimization capabilities by using omni-channel ads, whether that's driving shoppers to nearby stores, showcasing local store inventory online, reimagining your print program. All of these things are now unlocked from a product and ad campaign perspective. And of course, I want to leave you with, before I toss it to Dustin, test and measure. And I think that should be always on. And effective ad measurement, essentially, if we all should know, is fundamental in driving ROI. We see regularly conducting marketing experiments can increase ROI by 20%, whether you're running conversion lift studies, whether you're running marketing mix modeling, which is now more agile and faster, where you're running more multi-touch attribution for sort of always-on campaign optimization. And implementing a measurement sort of framework, a measurement learning agenda on top of the innovation and the testing that you're doing with a lot of our ad solutions would allow you to optimize in real time and sort of test and learn what's working best for your business.
And here's that third number, 9.5. Not all integrations are created equal. There's a lot of talk about how AI is just going to replace all the SaaSification. And sure, you can use AI to write an integration that connects to the CAPI offline, but we have teams invested in making sure we're up to date, we're constantly in contact with Meta to understand our best practices, and the proof of the success of our integration is in our numbers. The average customer on Telium who's set up offline conversion signals to Meta is getting a 9.5 ODQ score, offline data quality score, which is insane. In fact, 2/3 of our customers are getting 9.9 or better. And these numbers are so good that I didn't believe them when I got them, and I went and double checked them myself and had someone else triple check them. But this is the reality, is that because we're so aligned to what Meta wants to see from this integration, we are able to hit these really high standards and again, get above that bar of that 8.5 that unlocks so much of what Heriberto was talking about.
Right. I think to kind of piggyback on that, I think ultimately we just want to see business grow and use our platforms to grow their business. And we work with folks like Dustin to say, hey, how can we better provide service in an automated way to the businesses we both support, so that ensuring that not only that they're investing in their data, but they're sending the right data, and then they can take steps to make the data better, right? And that's what it comes down to.
And this screenshot here is what we were talking about earlier. We're getting those signals back from Meta, so you can see them in the Telium UI. You know, it's not always the same person who's logging into Telium who's logging into Meta Ads, so we want to surface that everywhere we can. So if you're in Telium, you can check your own conversions, see what the score is, and if it's not a perfect 10, then it will give you that advice like Heriberto was talking about to say, focus on this, go improve that aspect of it. And you can drill down conversion by conversion to understand where to go improve that. So this is the takeaway slide. We're wrapping up here, but really it should be an easy decision tree for you. Most of the people at this conference are maybe even sick of hearing about CAPI at this point, but it is important. And if you are not doing it, then let's definitely start there. But assuming you're already doing something with your conversion APIs, let's make sure that that's being filled in with a complete picture of every interaction you're having with these customers and wherever they're converting. So then you need to go double click down and say, are we getting the conversions across the whole suite? Are we pulling in those offline signals? That's another way that Telium really has invested a lot in being able to pull in data better from data warehouses. Wherever your conversion data is living that's offline, we're going to be able to pull that into our system and easily map that over to you. And if you do already have it set up, check the quality score, check what the recommendations are, and especially if it's not in Telium and you're not up to an 8.5 yet, we have seen a lot of success with people migrating from other offline conversion solutions into Telium and seeing good improvement in their scores. So there's a step for everyone here. If you're not doing it yet, let's get started. If you are doing it, let's keep pushing, keep getting better. A little investment on your data quality and data breadth is going to pay off more in the ROI than in just continuing to iterate on the creative and on the campaign side.
Yeah, and I sort of want to leave with, if you're not thinking about your omni-channel strategy and how you're utilizing data to power that, something that I recommend you should. If you think about it from the majority of shopping still happens at a retail store. The consumer experience is not one linear. There's sort of multiple touch points. Those touch points are signals. And if you're capturing those signals, use it to better your business. And this is sort of what these products and allows you to do. Better your business in a very, very easy way.
Okay, so one last thing. What were the 3 numbers? Well, what was the first number? Second number? And the third number. All right, so if you want to reduce your cost of purchase by first number, perfect, percent, then you need to get an ODQ score of at least second number. Amazing. And you can get that on average at Telium, a score of at least, or on average, if you do your offline conversions through Telium. One sentence, that's all you need to remember from this. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
We
folks.
really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Focus. We'll talk to you soon.